Bruce sees all.
Some of these findings really make my mind turn and make me think of a whole bunch of different theories. One of my favorites, you can see Tycho up there on the top. I turned the moon around there, and if it's not a radio telescope, what is it? Is it a towering object? Yes, it looks like it. But what's connected to it? There's a line at the bottom coming out, and it's going to a darker brownish area. So often I bring up, we're going to zoom in here, I bring up the ideal of there being industries, that they're producing something. We would see some type of chemical reaction in the air. Here we're closer. Me, it's the perfect circle out of all of this that's really getting to me. But look at the colors at the end. Those colors have brought me to be able to find some of these structures when you start understanding exactly how the surface really is. Here, really close up, along the edge of the terminator line, so it's obviously not a full moon. Full moons, we don't see all this elevation, right? It's more refractive and very reflective, that's for sure. But I just wanted to show you all a very large crater. And of course, it's with all the oscillation, there's not much here oscillation. It's really cool. It'd be fun if it was just completely still. I mean, impossible. There's two atmospheres, one around Earth, one around the moon. But look at the crater on top there. Depending on your monitor, that I've come to realize you might not see the color, but I sure do. It's green, some purples. And you see where everything else is gray? Well, under that grayness, there's a whole other life underneath that that's going unseen. So people tell me, too bad, Bruce, that they're not sending Artemis program to land people on the moon and to go on Earth side so we can see them. Well, say to yourself, guys, they're going to. While we look inside of Mare Serenitatis, and we see Bessel crater right in the center along that line there. What's that mysterious square that we see where supposed Apollo 17 landing is? I'll show you that one more time. So, yeah, what was I talking about? Yes, the Artemis program. Well, when they land in the south at the poles, they'll be able to travel under that haze to get to like these areas to see all these mysterious anomalies on the surface without any of us probably seeing them. Aside from the interaction of their spacecrafts and propulsion systems that interact with the atmosphere of the moon, aside from that, or maybe the experimentation and tests that they're doing, secret projects or not, we would see some explosions or flashes. And listen, I've been seeing a lot of explosions and flashes, but could they be going to visit these just at the bottom of Copernicus crater? That, my friends, it doesn't mean people are living inside them because they're constructed housing or industries even, but they could be mechanical devices. It could be hauling water, hauling liquids, maybe even beings or people walking through some of these tunnels. And let's go back to these bases. I've shown you before, but very importantly, listen up. For me, this is more exciting than even having found the UFOs leaving the surface of the moon. These are objects that are built on the surface. They're so reflective, very reflective, and I'm going to invert just a negative image of this regular surface, straight up, no filter here I'm showing you. Here inverted. You can see the two squares on top, on each side. There are constructed objects, whether it be a base or even something mechanical. I'm not even trying to show that. But there's also construction all around this area. You really have to take the time to look at it. I show this so quickly in the video, like a minute, 2 minutes, not even, and we jump to something else. But in reality, this is just as important as all the UFOs that I've been able to show on the surface. Let me explain. You can see that there's a white constructed object. When I say white, well, it's maybe not white, but it's reflective. And what's this? Piping or tunneling going all around and lining up. You can see that there's a dark material there. It's going around. And that dark material just at the edge or connected with that bright reflective material on the left. And they are all always seen together. When something's constructed, you'll see the dark material objects around. And I can tell because a shadow does not have a line like that, right? There's lots of shadows on the moon, but they don't have straight lines like underneath. Regular shadow. But on top, that's not a regular shadow. This is something I've showed many a times. They're hard to find, the areas on the surface. Not hard to find, but hard to be able to show them properly. So this is something important, People should realize that the lights are really exciting, but the lights are there for a reason, because there's actually constructed objects. And the lines and even grids that you hear, often people say that, well, Bruce, have you ever seen the grid lines on the surface? Well, hell yes, I've seen them. Absolutely seen them. Archimedes crater. We can see UFOs going by Archimedes crater. Listen, there can be some debris in all of this, right? Of course. But by zooming in and slowing things down, do you see all the haze, smoke, and it's actually hiding the surface? So the reason why I believe that people say that we can't see the surface of the moon, it's because of all that cloud, smoke, whether it be industrially produced or not. There really are constructed areas. And now, Bruce, have you ever seen a larger constructed area where there are more construction that run for many hundreds of miles? Yes. I won't linger too much on this. I've showed it before. Bianchini crater. We could see that there's a fuzz around all the structures when you're looking around. We can see some clarity in focus structures, and we see some blurs, patches. And it's not because of the image, right? Because the whole image would be blurry. So that means if it's not trees or smokes and hazes, I can go as far as saying snow, it would probably be in movement because it's blurred out. And again, it comes down to what I've always said. There's smokes and hazes on the surface, and quite often hiding the surface from us.
what you do to play the blues. Just sing what you feel. Yeah, sing what you feel.